Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well. So without wasting any time, let's move to the newspaper. First we will identify the important news and then we'll move on to the analysis section. Hello everyone, this is Tuesday, May 10, 2022, the Hindu Daily edition. Okay, so without wasting any time, we first identify the most important news followed by a detailed discussion of the same. So let's move. The first news: amid rising violence, Rajapaksa quits as Sri Lanka PM. Okay, no, just know this fact that due to violence this has happened. Not very relevant with our exam point of view, but yes, we should know this because we may write it somewhere here or there, or it may be a question of prelims, right? Not this year, maybe next year. Rupee hit a new low amid dollar outflow. We'll see this. We'll consider sedition law. Okay, it goes on happening. Let's see. Let's wait for some time to see how the news builds up, right? Anti-encroachment drive stalled in Delhi. Okay, I see. Linked Union Minister said to killing of fluffing. No, not required. Sad over Tagore's not required. Kerala full terror not required. Asani to set to weaken near Orissa coast. So this is a cyclone, a tropical cyclone, right? Tropical cyclone that generally builds during this time and during that October-November phase. Okay, so this has built up right now. Triggered heavy rain on east coast. 11 fishermen stranded who were stranded were rescued. Okay, there is nothing. Okay, there is nothing out here. There is also nothing here. There is nothing on this page as well. Okay, there is nothing out here. Okay, just know this fact: only 1% women in age of 15 to 49, that is working age group, more or less. Well, working age group is up to 60 or 65 years, but this is a major proportion, right? Major proportion of working age group. Okay, they do not consume consume alcohol. So only 1% consumes alcohol. Okay, we'll give it a read. Maybe we can find a case study. Okay, related to women issues and these things, substance abuse, right? Powering up after the power crisis. We'll give it a read. Alarm bell: Sikh separatism is now feeble, but vigilance is not required. A dissonance in India-Germany ties, where the MP visit Germany changed the perception about India's stand on Ukraine, assumes critical importance. Okay, we'll see how this unfolds. Relentless war: Russia should support the UN Secretary General Peace Mission and end the attack. Okay, that is not required at this point. Why the COVID number matters? Know it as a case study that there has been a tussle between government and WHO over number of COVID deaths, right? Just know about it. It is nothing to, because you won't have a chance to write it in the examination or the mains answer, right? It is the chances are very feeble. The importance of immigrants for India to increase remittances contribution to GDP. It doesn't need more workers, but skilling and better management. Just know this thing. If you want to read, you can read it, but this line I think is enough to explain this part. Okay, the importance of immigrants, right? Okay, there has been a new immigration bill, right? We'll give it a read then, because it is related to some kind of bill that government has proposed. Let's see how it unfolds. We'll give it a brief read first. Text and context. The search algorithm in action. Will read the gist first and see if it is required to read the entire article. Okay, the standard model of particle physics got a jolt. Will always also read this. Okay, there was nothing out on this page, so we'll move to the next page. The news page: China intend to keep boundary issues alive. Okay, is there anything else? I don't think. Ministry revises MP last rule. We'll give it a read. I don't think there is anything here on this page. Okay, there is nothing out there on that page. Russia envoy not required. Okay, not required. Now let's see the world page. Just know this thing, Marcos Jr. has led the Philippines election, so he'll become the next head of state there. Okay. There is nothing out here. On business page, know this thing, LIC IPO subscribed 2.9, almost 3 times it has been subscribed. Buying back government bond or open market operations. Okay, we'll see this also because it has some technical terms like bond yield, okay, and how the government is responding or interfering in the same. NTPC invites us to involve in not required. On the sports page also, as usual, we don't find many important news, and as I see, there are nothing much. Okay, so with this we have come to an end of identification of the most important news. Now let us go ahead and see the most and analyze these most important news. Okay, so this is our first news. Rupee hits a new low amid dollar outflow. Okay, so there has been an outflow of dollar from our economy. Okay, so dollar is outflowing from our economy. That has led to what? That has led to rupee damaging of rupee or the falling of rupee to a new low. Okay, we'll understand it. Now let us first read it. I'm creating a space. If anything is needed to explain, then I'll explain it here only. Okay, so this must be enough. Okay, let's see this thing. Rupee hits a new low amid dollar outflow. The rupee on Monday fell all-time low to 77.44 against US dollar due to a sell-off in equities amid concern over weakening of global growth prospect, outflow of the dollar, and fear of further monetary tightening by the central bank to counter rising inflation. Okay, the previous closing low for rupee was 77.09. A sell-off in global equity market, which was triggered by hike in the target rates by US Fed, the war in Europe, and the growth concerns in China due to COVID-19 led to the rupee depreciation. Now what had happened? Look, this is USA Federal Bank. Okay, this is Indian economy. Okay, now what was the initial condition? There were dollars here. The dollars were invested by whom? These dollars, dollar. These were invested by whom? These were invested by someone from America or other country. Now what happened? What had this Fed has done? It has, look here, it is written hike in interest rates. Okay, so increase the interest rate. So what is interest rate? It is the rate at which money is available in market. Okay, so if the interest rate increases, then who will benefit? Will the consumer of the money, or if we say, will the people who will take this money will benefit, or the people who will lend this money will benefit? Obviously the lender will benefit. So and these people who have invested dollars in Indian economy are actually having that money, so what they do, they pull off the dollar here and they put it in US economy. Okay, so what will happen? This will lead to their increased income due to high interest rate that is being offered in USA. But the question is that interest rate in USA will more or less will be smaller than interest rate in India, because India is a developing country, so we have a better interest rate than USA. Then also, why do they take out dollar and invest in USA economy? It is because the USA as an economy is more powerful and more stable than Indian economy. Therefore, even a small hike in interest rate attracts more dollar than that of India. Okay, so this is one of the reason. And let's see the second reason. The war in Europe. We know that the war had led to increased inflation in world, or better say post-pandemic world. Okay, so what had it led to? It has led to inflation in the post-pandemic world. Fine. And therefore also, and this inflation, as we know, is more seen in developing countries than developed countries. Okay, now so this is also one of the reason to pull out dollar from Indian economy and put it back in the US economy or other such economy, and growth concerns in China due to COVID-19 and all those things. So now how this depreciation looks. Now initially Indian economy, say it has rupee to dollar ratio as 70 to 1, means if there were 70 rupees, for that there was $1 available. Now what had happened, dollar had gone out. Okay, so what will happen? For now the new this was old. What will be the new condition? Rupees to dollar. Say for 70 rupees there will be 0.5 dollars. This is dollar, right? Okay, if this is new one, then it becomes 140 is to $1. Okay, therefore it shows that was rupees has depreciated. You understand now? This is a concept involved here. It's a very technical article, therefore I spent some time on it so that you understand its basic functioning, how this thing happens. Okay, so we have done this. Now let's see if anything else is remaining. You know about tropical cyclone? Well and good. If you don't know about it, go and read from your basics, because it is a very basic thing. Okay, and you must know about this. This is a very recurring topic of civil service examination prelims. At least in prelims we have every alternate year question from this section. Okay, now let's see if anything else is remaining here. Yes, only 1% women in age 15 to 49 consume alcohol, says NFSH 5 report. Okay, let's see. Among women who drink, 17% consume it every day, 37% drink about a week. The percentage of women who take alcohol is highest in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, this is also due to the climate. Okay, because Arunachal Pradesh has a very harsh climate. The topography is harsh there, so to keep themselves warm, we know that mammal cannot regulate its temperature. So to keep themselves warm, they may be using these drinks. Okay. While it is known that alcohol consumption has always been high among men, the recently released survey has found that only 1% of women aged 15 to 49 drink alcohol in the country, compared to 22% of the men. The overall consumption is high in rural areas as expected. In Karnataka, 0.3%, and these are the data. Okay. Among women who drink alcohol, 17% consume it every day, not required. Drinking alcohol is more common among women from scheduled tribe. This is important. Okay, from scheduled tribe than from any other caste group. Okay. Consumption is also most common among Christian men and men belonging to other religion. The other religion here are those apart from Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Buddhist, Neo-Buddhist and Jain community. Drinking is also seen among men. Okay. Overall proportion of men who drink alcohol decreased to 22 between NFSH 4 and 5. During the period, the proportion of women who drink has remained unchanged. Okay. Okay. I don't think there is much thing. Okay, so just know this. If there is a case study you have to write, or example you have to write, or data you have to write about use of, or say, substance abuse. Okay, substance abuse is gender based. Okay, so you can write this thing, that only 1% women of itna consume alcohol vis-a-vis 22% men. Okay, so you can write it down here. It will be a very good case study. Okay, as usual we do editorial and text and context page at last. Okay, so let's move to the next news first. Okay, ministry revises MP last rule. Okay, let's see. MPs have been asking for increase in MP local area development scheme fund. So there has been a demand from member of parliament to increase the fund. The Union Finance Ministry has ordered revised rule under which interest that fund accrues will be deposited in consolidated fund of India. Okay, so know this thing, that whatever interest the fund accrues will be deposited in CFI. In order to, what is the article for CFI? Just tell me in the comment box in which article we have CFI and consolidated fund of India and PAI. Tell me about this in the comment box. Okay, the order of ministry dated April 11 conveyed to Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha only by the last week of April. Each MP is allocated 5 crores. How much? 5 crores annually under the scheme. The MP LAT fund is released to district authority and MPs only have power to recommend. So the fund is released to whom? The district authority, and MP has only the power to recommend development work. The payment is also released by the designated district authority on completion of the work. Okay. So these are very important points, because we have had a question in I think 2019 or 20 prelims regarding MP LAT scheme. Okay. So far the interest accrued on the fund used to be added to MP LAT's account and could be used for development projects. Sharply reacting to these changes, guidelines, CPIM leader in a letter to finance minister said the new order was in violation of MP LAT guidelines of 2016. Sources said that finance ministry did not consult parliamentary committee on MP LATs of either houses. Okay, so these are the things. Just know about this scheme. This is a very important scheme. Okay, so the district authority would be doing this, would get the funding, and MPs will have the power only to recommend development work, right? Okay, and also the interest would be now credited to where? The Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, now let's see the next news if we have anything. Okay, there is nothing out here. You just have to know about Marcus Jr., right? Okay, let's see this news. Government said to urge Reserve Bank to help push bond yield to bond yield lower. Now, what is this bond yield? Okay, what is this? Say you have a bond, okay, which costed you rupees 100, okay, and you sell it at 90 rupees to person 1, okay. So what is the difference in the price? This is 10 rupees. So what will happen when the person A, P, let this be P0, this is when P0 would have encashed the bond, then he would have got rupees 100. So let he has this is not CP, let this be the face value, okay, and let the CP be for same thing. CP was 98 rupees, fine. So how much person 0 would have earned if he would have got this bond? If he would have encashed this bond, he would have earned obviously 2 rupees. But what happens? P1 has bought this for 90 rupees. So how much he will earn? He will earn 10 rupees by encashing the bond at its face value, right? The bonds are always encashed on their face values. You understand this? Now if it is sold to P2, say on rupees 85, SP2, then what will be the bond yield? This would be 15 rupees. Now this is what it is. Bond yield is the difference between the face value and the selling price or the buying price of that bond. For P0 it was 98 rupees, so the bond yield was 2% and 2 rupees. For P1 it was 90 rupees, so the bond yield was 10 rupees. For P2 it is 85 rupees, so the bond yield is 15 rupees. So what will the government or the bond owner want? They will never want the bond yield to rise. Okay, rising bond yield is dangerous. Okay, because it leads to what? It leads to decreased confidence in the bond market, and if the confidence is low, then people won't invest, right? So bond is a kind of investment. You need money, so that therefore you issue bond, and if there is a low confidence in the market, so the bond will not be performing well. Therefore government has urged Reserve Bank of India to help them to push bond yield, the increasing bond yield, to lower, means to push this bond yield, to decrease this bond yield, so that the confidence is still instilled in the public at large. Okay, now buying back government bond or open market operations are options. Look, buying back government bonds, okay, if the RBI will buy if the government will buy back the bonds, or the government never buys back, RBI on behalf of government buys back. If the RBI buys back bond, then what will happen? Obviously it's the trust value will increase. Why? Because RBI itself is taking out or buying the bond from the market, so bond in the market reduces, therefore for the same demand the supply of bond reduces, and hence the bond price, the selling price of bond will increase, and therefore the bond yield will decrease. You understand this concept? Now, and open market operations, the second thing is open market operation, means buying or selling the bonds, the government bonds, say, in a open market. Okay, so what will happen if RBI start buying the bond from open market only? Then also the bond supply in the market decreases, and this leads to what? This leads to decline in the bond yield. Okay, let's read it. It's a technical article, therefore we must read it. The government has asked the central bank to either buy back government bond or to conduct open market operations to cool yield that have held their highest since 2019. Okay, why this news is there? Because rupee has been down to 77 rupees plus, okay, per dollar. Okay, so to arrest this thing, fine, and to arrest the increasing bond yield, government has been seeking support of RBI for the same, right? So that it could be arrested. The government has asked the central bank to either buy back government bond or conduct OMO to cool the yield that have hit highest since 2019, as inflation risk pushes foreign investors to sell government source. Okay, so what has happened? Inflation has led to what is the actual value of bond yield? Say the inflation in the country is 4%, okay, and bond is providing you 8%. So what is your net interest rate? It is for that bond, it is 8 minus 4, that is 4%. Okay, but inflation rises to 6%. Okay, then what is the net IR? It is about it is equals to 2% only. Okay, and that too US Fed has done what? It has increased its interest rate, which is attracting more dollars now. And in what form dollars can be stored in our economy? It can be a FDI, FPI, or buying of government bonds by the foreign entities, or something like that. So dollar engaged in our economy is not directly dollar, it is in some kind, it is engaged, or it is stored in some other forms. right? Bonds, debentures, like those things. So people will sell this bond. Again, selling of bond will lead to increasing bond yield. So what the government want? It wants that to arrest these things. Either central bank must buy back the government bonds on behalf of government, or it must conduct OMO, right? 10-year benchmark bond ended 7.46% after earlier reaching a high of 7.49%. The discussion with RBI is at its advanced stage, as current yield are not comfortable level. The government official, with direct knowledge of the matter, said on condition of anonymity. The official said that government expects that RBI to conduct a switch operation. Okay, so this is RBI will be conducting a switch operation, offering investors a chance to exchange their short-dated bond for a debt with a longer maturity, or to buy back government bonds within next 2 weeks. Means what will be the switch? Switch means changing. What will be the changing there? It will offer investors a chance to exchange their short-dated bond. Okay, so if a investor has a bond which is short-dated, that is its maturity time is less than 1 year, so it will be a short-dated bond. So what will happen? So they will be given an offer to exchange this short-dated bond with debt. So these bonds will be converted into debt with a longer maturity, so that in that long term the economy will stabilize and the bond will start to perform well again, or government will buy back the bonds within next 2 weeks, or they will buy back the bond within next 2 weeks. Okay, so buying back will lead to what? This will lead to decreased supply of bond in the economy, right? The request from government could complicate RBI's policy of withdrawal of liquidity from market. Look how this will be done. The request of government could complicate RBI's policy of withdrawal of liquidity from the market. You know, recently repo rate has been increased from 4% to 4.4%, which why? To arrest inflation. Okay, this means what? To decrease liquidity from market. You understand this thing? I have already explained 4 days ago or 5 days ago. I have explained this thing, how repo rate increase will lead to decreased liquidity from market. Now this decreased liquidity is there from market. Okay, on one hand, what is RBI doing? It is decreasing the liquidity from the market, and if RBI follows government request, okay, to of buying back, what will happen? RBI, this is government securities, right, or say bond. Okay, so if RBI buys this bond, okay, buys, so what it will give? It will supply rupee in the economy. So on one hand it is taking out rupee from the economy, and on other hand it is supplying rupee to the economy. So it will this step will lead to what? It will lead to offsetting of the overall target of arresting inflation to 4 plus minus 2% target, right? CPI, this is CPI, right? So this will be a problem. So on one hand RBI is doing what? It is increasing repo rate so that the liquidity in the market in the economy could be decreased, and on other hand we find that RBI, by buying the government, by buying these bonds, will lead to what? Will lead to increased supply of money in the economy. So each one, in both the cases, they are at loggerhead and they will be offsetting each other, right? So this is the problem. Okay, let's see what else. Which market makes a shift away from the ultra loose monetary stance took during COVID-19 pandemic? We know that during COVID-19 pandemic, repo rate was fixed at 4%. Okay, with the accommodative look, okay, it was fixed at about 4%, right? You understand this? And now it has been increased, and at other place it will be doing the counter opposite things to it. Okay, so let's see. The RBI surprised market last week by raising it to 4.4% repo rate. I have already said this, to fight inflation. Its first increase in nearly 4 years. The FPI sold about $700 million of government securities since April 1 and 1.2 billion this year, traders said. Indian Forest Reserve has fell by 2 billion, about 3 billion to 597.73 billion on April 29. RBI data shows marketing the 8th straight week of decline and the first time falling below 600 billion in a year. You understand now? This entire article, it's a technical article, you must understand it. If you don't understand it, see it one more time. Okay, now LIC IPO subscribed 2.95 times. Primary market, you know this, it is done in primary market. Initial public offering, right? So this has been done. Give it a read. There's nothing out here. You just know one thing, why it has been oversubscribed to 3 times. It's very simple, because it is backed by government and government is sovereign. Okay, so government won't default on its obligations, therefore it is considered very, very, very safe. Okay, now let's see if any other news is left. I don't find anything here, and on the sports page as usual we don't find any very important news, at least for today. Okay, so with this we have come to end of news analysis, and now we move on to the editorial analysis. Fine. Okay, then this is our editorial, powering up after the power crisis shock. Okay, so let's see what it has to say, but I think it is an important article because it is leading to power crisis, and this is power thing is written in our syllabus, okay, of GS 3I. Okay, let's see. The power crisis has taken us by surprise. The question in everyone's mind is where did we go wrong and who slipped up. Clearly there was a complacency in the power supply position. As the power supply position was comfortable for some years, there was surplus capacity, then there was stranded coal and gas based power plant which has become non-performing asset. Okay, it was however not appreciated that electricity demand growth has been lower than expected due to slower and less energy intensive economic growth. The robust economy recovery after two waves of COVID and unexpected heat wave has brought power cuts. Okay, the government is undertaking emergency measures such as cancelling passenger trains so as to be able to get Indian Railway to transport more coal from power plants and issuing directive to use more important coal to tide over supply of shortfall. Okay, so what has been the government doing? Cancelled passenger train and asked railway to instead fly trains that could carry coal as a freight to various power plants. Nature of consumer demand. Taking the holistic view of the responsibilities in the supply chain would be helpful in avoiding the recurrences. Under Electricity Act, it is responsibility of the DISCOMs to provide reliable quality and round the clock electricity to all consumers to meet full demand. To do so, they enter into contract with number of generating companies in order to ensure adequate supply. These DISCOMs work under the oversight of State Electricity Regulatory Commission. With higher income and with consent increased in the use of air conditioners. Okay, so higher income has led to increase in air conditioners and other electricity appliances. The nature of electricity demand is undergoing a qualitative transformation with rising daily and seasonal peak spikes on a very hot or cold day. This will only increase in year ahead. So what is the present condition or the expected nature of consumer demand? It is increasing. Fine, you understand this? So nature of consumer demand increasing exponentially and spikes on hot day, hot season. Okay, towards a reliable supply. While demand prediction is inherently uncertain, the question to ask whether the DISCOMs have been making and updating the demand growth projections and scenarios over the medium term with adequate supply arrangements in a robust manner, and whether state regulatory commissions have been demanding these securities, these and scrutinizing them transparently. The need to become central to regulatory processes, ensuring reliable supply to meet unanticipated peaks as have occurred now, requires making supply arrangement with reserve margins that are adequate. These would be expensive just as backup of private capacity captive diesel generation is. The regulatory commission need to provide such expensive peaking power arrangements in tariff they approve. It is the time to move towards a separate peaking power procurement contract. Okay, so this is the gist. Okay, separate peaking power procurement contract in addition to the present system of long-term thermal power contracts. Once things have been settled, it would be also useful to see the granular manner in which the generators have defaulted contractually in supplying power to DISCOM, where Coal India, Indian Railway have been in default. Okay, there may be case for tightening their contractual terms with enforcement of financial penalties. Further, a transition to demand-based time of day rates in electricity for generators as well as consumer will help. These should be bought by regulatory commission. Peak demand, moderation and flattening of the demand curve through a change of consumer behavior is feasible with smart meters. Okay, but this would take place only with a strong price signal. The large differential in peak rates. This differential needs to be so that is to be so wide that large consumer find it worthwhile to put in some sensors and timer while cheap electricity is around at 3 am to switch off geyser and washing machines and to raise the air conditioner temperature setting by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in afternoon of hot day where the electricity is expensive. Okay, so it is saying that get a agreement or the rate tariff says that if people try to that more or less people and industries are discouraged from using or overusing or misusing electricity, and thus it would lead to flattening of curve during peak hours. Okay, a very high level of reliability has higher cost. Okay, for unexpected peak demands, the requirement of backup power will keep rising as share of uncertain renewable energy in generation grows. A specific option needs to be transparently evolved and decisions to be taken. The consumer and the political class and regulatory commissions have collected responsibility for optimal decision to for reliable supply rather than the short-term comfortable minimal or no sub tariff increase resulting in consequences that we are now witnessing. Okay, subsidies and policies. Free subsidies of electricity to farmers and households up to a specified level is not a problem as long as the state government pay for it provided in the act, and regulatory commission do not at the same time act from a political viewpoint point of view and shy away from determining cost reflective tariffs. The problem is absence of meaningful political discussions on relative benefits from subsidies in different areas and their affordability. Okay. While the problem of delayed payment by DISCOM is getting highlighted and the needs to be solved with the sense of urgency, the coal supply problem is not due to this. Coal India is not short of cash to be able to increase production. It should do so faster. Coal India needs to create capacity to rapidly ramp up production, and railways need to carry larger quantities of coal with demand surges that has happened now. Extreme weather events will increase in intensity and frequency due to climate change. Thus capacity cushions have to be created at the earliest and paid for. Some solutions: there is idle but expensive generation capacity available, about 15 to 20 gigawatts of gas power based plant which can run on imported liquefied natural gas. Okay, this is idle but expensive. So one option we have idle, which is expensive but is kept idle till now, about 15 to 20 gigawatts of gas power plant which is based on imported liquefied natural gas, 6 to 8 gigawatts of thermal power which can run on imported coal. The exercise of option of buying electricity from these plants have no power cuts would provide immediate relief, but where and across the board increase in the rate may not appear feasible. Consumers who are willing to pay more could be kept free of power cuts with purchase and supply of more expensive electricity generated from imported coal and gas. So it is saying that make electricity availability 24/7 linked to payment capacities. Okay. This willingness could be conveyed through resident welfare or industries association. They could pay for this through a peak demand surcharges in their bill. The regulatory commission could undertake subsequent scrutiny to see that the surcharges has been computed correctly to improve reliability. Discounts with approval of regulatory commission need to go for bids for storage. It may even turn out to be cheaper option in short run to meet peaking power needs. In large scale grid shortage in any case is essential to achieve the goals for 2030 and creating 500 gigawatts of fuel capacity. Okay, so what it has to say, it has given a solution that people who need more reliable electricity and that to 24/7 should pay more. But there is a catch in this, as I see. It will obviously defeat our purpose of equally providing the basic facilities to each person in India. Okay, this would be a problem, right? A good article, more or less. You can take out some points from it, but not too much points are available. Okay, now let's move to this page. The importance of immigrants for India to increase remittances contribution to GDP. It does not need more worker but skilling and better management, because a skilled worker will earn twice or thrice of his own earning when he was unskilled, right? And better management. Okay, higher remittances. It has just given data. Go through it if you want. There's something Niti Aayog written there. Associate in Niti Aayog. Okay. We'll see that provision of immigration bill only. The Indian government proposed a new immigration bill which aims to integrate immigration management and streamlining the welfare of immigrant workers. It proposes to modify the system of immigration check requirement category of worker applying for migration to 18 notified countries. The ECI category mainly comprised those who have not passed class 10 and faced the challenges of risky informal immigration and subsequent hardship abroad. The bill makes it mandatory for all category of workers to register before departure to any countries in the world to ensure better protection for them, support and safeguard in case of vulnerabilities. The proposed immigration management authority will be overreaching authority to provide. Okay, these things are there. The number of migrants workers need not go up for remittances not required. This is irrelevant. Okay, just know this. It is saying that a skilled worker will bring home more remittances than unskilled worker, right? So focus on skilling. Okay, give it a read if you want. I don't see it very important for the examination point of view, because look, you don't have enough space in the examination and there are time constraints as well, so you cannot write everything that is there in an article. You are not writing an article, you are writing an answer. An answer needs to be your own, it should not be somebody else's, right? For getting marks you have to innovate your own answers. Okay, the search algorithm in action. Let's see. What is an algorithm? It is essentially a set of sequence of commands given to a computer or some kind of device that executes for a particular task to be completed. Okay, an algorithm is a series of instructions. As I said, tech giants Alphabet Inc. Google, whose flagship product is Google search engine, is dominant player in the search market. You know about this SEO, search engine optimization. Okay, it is a reverse of this search part, right? Algorithms are often built using historical data and for specific function. Obviously, historical data will give what? It will give your what we say feedback. It's used as a feedback thing, right? The feedback will help us to help the algorithm or the algorithm developer to understand the needs of that consumer of the product that he is supplying, and therefore he redesigns the algorithm for it. Okay, once developed, they go through frequent updates from companies for quality enhancement. As I said, any changes or update in their algorithm could also mean the traffic is steered away from certain site and business, which could have negative impact on their revenue. Firms can use this algorithm to change the way they rank products on their website, prioritize their own product, and excluding competitors. Some of these concerns have caught the eye of regulator. Okay, so these are the concerns. Give it a read. I don't think it is very important. Just know two things: that yes, search engines are optimized for benefit of the particular group. Okay, this is nothing new in this. Search engine optimization and plus algorithm planning. Okay, these are leading to what? Creation of unequal playing grounds. Okay, know about this. It is written here SEO. No, look, it has also written here SEO. Okay, now let's see this one. The standard model of physics particle gets a jolt. Why so? On April 7, researchers from CDF in USA announced that they have made a precise measurement of the mass of W boson. They stated that this precisely determined value did not match with the estimates from standard models of the physics particle physics. Okay, the recent experiment, which measured the mass of W boson as 80433.5 plus minus 9.4 mega electron volt per c square, is more than what is expected for the standard model. The expected value using the standard model is 83357 plus minus 8. It implies the incompleteness of the standard model description. This mass discrepancy of W boson needs to be checked and confirmed by same accuracy by other research facilities. Okay, now what you will be asked from this article? Will they ask you about this? What is this particle physics and what this CDF? No, they will ask you about W boson. Okay, they will ask you about states of matter. They will ask you about atomic particles. Okay, so these things you already know in your theory, in your static section. Give it a read and be very familiar with these things, right? Because they will be asked in examination in some or the other form. Okay, now there is nothing out here. So okay, with this we have come to end of today's news analysis. I hope you like it. Okay, so if you like it, then give it a thumbs up. Okay, and subscribe our channel. Till then, I take a leave from you. Yes, as usual, your homework is write in comment box which article you will use in your answers and in which answer, means GS 1, 2, 3, 4, optional or essay, in which paper you will use those answers, right? In which paper you will use those articles, you just write in the comment box. You know, I read each and every comment. Okay, so with this I take your leave and I am ending the session now. Fine. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also, keep studying hard, keep following your dreams and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.